Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to Centurions Review, the punk rock band of Wargame Review Institutions. This is 1960, The Making of the President from Z-Man Games. It says, in 1960, The Making of the President, you take on the role of one of these formidable opponents as they vie to lead America through an era of turbulent change and upheaval. As candidates, players must contend with all of the great issues of the day, from the Cold War and the voters' pocketbooks to civil rights and religious intolerance. The contest is fought out on an electoral map of the United States as it stood in 1960. Using a card-driven game system, all of the major events which shaped the actual campaign are represented. Nixon's lazy shave, Eisenhower's belated endorsements, and Major Daley's late returns from Cook County are just a few of the many specific event cards players will encounter. The famous televised debates are also a pivotal element of gameplay. And it says the game is for ages 12 plus, 2 players, and it lasts about 90 to 120 minutes. We'll put this on the table so you can take a look at it, but before that, I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm at 997 as of now, so if you haven't subscribed yet, now would be a great time. Thanks, I appreciate it. Alright guys, let's take a look inside this bad boy and see what's in here. Pretty heavy box, so I would assume a mounted map. I got this used, as you can probably tell. Here's the rule book, or they call it the campaign manual. Looks like it's 22 pages, including the player aid. Has an overview of the game. Now it's going over the different components. You got a board, campaign cards, candidate cards, endorsement markers, a debate board, all sorts of stuff. Cubes, and plenty of cubes, and state seals and issue tiles, and along with candidate tokens and momentum markers over here. And it looks like there's a political capital bag, which is where you store your cubes. And here it's going over how to set up the game. And your sequence of play is initiative phase, 5 activity phases, a momentum phase, and then a campaign strategy phase. And it's going into how to do the initiative and activity phases here. And it looks like you can play some cards as events, and there's persistent events. And you can play a card for campaign points, which can trigger events. And here it's going over campaigning in states, advertising in regions, positioning on issues. And here it's going over the momentum phase and the campaign strategy phase. And here's the debates. Alright, so the normal sequence of play is modified for turn 6. For that one you have determine initiative, campaign strategy, set the stage, debate, and then after the debates. And here's what you're awarded if you win an issue. On the 9th turn, you get a new sequence of play again. Deposit bonus cubes, determine initiative, campaign strategy, election day events, endorsements, and undecided voters, and then final tally. And here it's got some strategy tips, and it's got a sample turn here. That's good. And here's your player's aid on the back. Here it's talking about what you can do when you play a card, different things. And it's going over the momentum phase, campaign strategy phase. These are all part of the sequence of play. And here's the turn 6 specific rules and the turn 9 specific rules. This they call the debate board. And here's the bag you'll put your cubes in. And before we take a look at the map, let's take a look at some of the components inside. Take a look at the cards. You got Missile Gap here, Citizens for Nixon Lodge, Harvard Brain Trust, Tricky Dick, Primetime Television, and what are these ones here? These are endorsement cards. Endorsement in the Midwest. Another in the Midwest, one in the West. Here's an endorsement in the South. And here's your Richard Nixon card. So don't ever say that you never had a Richard Nixon card, because if you get this game, you do. And a Kennedy card too. Here's a Civil Rights Act card. Stock market in decline. And Stevenson Loyalists. This thing has a nice insert. You can pop these edges up here. And here where you store all your tokens and stuff. Look pretty good. And then on the other side here, all the cubes are stored. Let's take a look at the map now. On the top of the map, it shows where you put the election day events, debate events, and prevention events. As far as the states, they have the state name and they show what party they lean towards. And at the bottom here you have a turn track and a phase track. So the board looks good and it's mounted. Thanks for watching. If you've tried this, definitely chime in and let us know how it is. Have a good evening.